All right, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Let me pin this really quick. See who's here already. I see everybody coming in. The realtor _ Gabby, and a lot of people are coming in right now. Fran and Tamar _ Chef. Amir, Cyber Gypsy. All right, so let me pin this comment right here. Hey, Beauty Shark Ginger, how you doing? All right, there you go. I'm pinning this comment, and did I get it? Pin comment. All right, cool. All right, what's up from Canada? I see Canada in the house. It's Fatima's World. I see a lot of good people here. A lot of people I've gotten to know. I know George Floyd's funeral is on. So I see Eric Patrick Thomas here. Hey, Sydney, what's going on, Maury? Of course. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to just jump right into it here. Let me see. How do I take this off here? Okay. All right, I'm just going to jump right into it. All right, so today is my Power Talk, and I have Jasmine Star here and Karen on. And I know I'm messing up the last name, right? But I'll get to that one. All right. So I just want to, introduce Jasmine Star to you really quick. And I'm not going to bring her on until I actually do the intro, because I hate when I'm sitting there and somebody's saying my intro and it just feels awkward, right? But let me just read a couple of points to you and how we're going to learn from her collectively, myself as well. First time talking to both of these people, but I wanted to reach out to people that I found that were inspiring myself, my staff, and the world that I didn't know, and get different angles on things. All right, so Jasmine was set to attend the UCLA's law school when she walked away to sit by her mother's side as her mother battled brain cancer. After her mother beat cancer and walked Jasmine down the aisle, Jasmine was struggling to follow her mother's instructions to pursue what she loved to do. She received a camera for Christmas from her husband and decided to pursue photography, building a brand and marketing her services along the way. Check this out. She was voted as a top 10 wedding photographer in the world 4 years later, and had her work published in several magazines. Became a speaker and a business strategist to create entrepreneurs entrepreneurship as a way to expand her brand, with entrepreneurs, and help business owners, build the foundation that they need to succeed in their dream careers. Now think about that. You just pick up a camera and you become one of the world's top wedding photographers in 4 years. Imagine what you can do right now while you're home, right? She has a podcast called The Jasmine Star Show. I'm not even going to read that fast. She has a podcast called The Jasmine Star Show. Make sure you write that down. Which explains how to actually turn your passion into a business and provides actionable tips, and has multiple programs for current and aspiring entrepreneurs, like Social Curator, a monthly subscription that provides photos, captions, templates, and action plans, and a path to profitability. It's really a business boot camp. All right. Adopted a baby named Luna in February with her husband, JD. All right. So there you go. Now you know who I'm bringing on, and a lot of people are going to be able to learn from her for various different ways. And before I just got to think about this right now. She does a podcast, which you can actually learn to structure your businesses. She is a photographer, world-renowned photographer, did that within 4 years of picking up a camera. And she loves to teach people. So we're going to learn from her right now. Let me bring her on. Let me find her. Okay. Gotta get all up in the camera. Yeah. Come on. All right. Okay, looking for Jasmine. Looking for Jasmine. What's up, Chauncey? I see you, man. Looking for Jasmine. Is Jasmine there? I don't see Jasmine. I don't see Jasmine. All right, well, if I cannot find Jasmine, I will then switch to the other one. Anybody there see Jasmine? Let's see. Let's see, maybe she's in comments. Does anybody see Jasmine on there? Jasmine Star on the, let's see. She's in here. You see her? She's pinned. You can click there. Okay. I'm going to look for her. All right. One second. All right. Don't yell at me. She's pinned. I can click for her. There you go. Because I pinned her. I'm hitting it. Nope. All right, I got to call one of my team members to see what's going on. Sorry about that. Stay with me. This is how it goes. Calling Sydney. Sydney, pick up your phone. Damn it. I'm really excited to talk to her, so please don't go anywhere. Just one of those mornings. Sydney didn't pick up. All right, any one of my team members call me. I'm going to give some shout outs while I wait for one of my team members to call me because I'm not going to waste people's time here. Let me give some shout out. Maybe she's having technical difficulties or I don't see her. Shout out your name and where you're from, and I will shout you out. I did scroll all the way up. Maury, I don't see her. Do you see her? Okay, Jasmine, they said please log out and then come back into my live for me to then request me. Come back in my live and request me. All right, bye. All right, who's in the house so I can shout you out really? Hi from South Africa. Put your name in there. There you go, Jasmine. I see you right there. There you go.
Daymond, not
piece of cake.
Not today.
Piece of cake.
Stop us. They're not going to stop us today. That's just fact.
Piece of cake. Thank you so much. How you doing?
The fight makes us stronger. We had to fight for this conversation. There you go.
That's right. I'm not sure if it was me or you, but it's all good. We're here.
We are here. We're here and we're ready to go. Thank you for this. I appreciate you.
No problem. I appreciate you. Great meeting you. I already gave people kind of your bio and talked about you, and I'm just going to jump right into it because I know everybody's busy right now and they take this little bit of time to spend with me. So, talk to me a little bit about how do you pick up a camera and become one of the world's top wedding photographers in 4 years? How do you do that?
The same way that you sell t-shirts out of the back of your car. A little hustle, a little grit, serving people well, and making sure that you're listening to what your customers and consumers want and serving them well.
But, it took me, I started in 89 and it probably took me about, I don't know, probably about 9 years till I was ever recognized. And I'm not saying that when you were recognized at that point, that was what you deemed success, whether monetarily or career-wise. Maybe you just really had one of those fascinating times that you shot a couple of things and you just had the eye, and then they said, okay, this is the person. But did you consider yourself successful at that point? Because that was a blink of an eye in comparison to, people's careers.
You know, Damon, I've always been a big fan of having people define what success looks like for them.
Yeah.
Because on the outside, like money and cars and jets and zip codes, that could all look like a success. But if in the process of getting the money, the cars, and the zip code, you lose the things that mean the most to you. And what meant the most to me as a daughter of an immigrant was taking care of my family, making sure that I was still giving back to the community, and showing up for the people who helped me get there. If in the process, me getting awards took me away from that, I wasn't a success. I was just rich. And I don't want to be rich. I want legacy. So at that point in my career, it was like, it felt good that other people saw what I was doing, but I didn't feel any more or less successful. And so I think that right now, wherever people are, COVID, not COVID, civil unrest, no civil unrest, having an education, having money or not, how do you define your success so that whatever else people are saying, negative or positive, it doesn't dissuade you from the thing that you've been called to do?
So if you were to, at that point in your life, when you were deemed a success, if you would have had to write your obituary, would you have been happy writing your obituary?
Yes.
So then you were a success.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But so many of us have the capabilities of our obituary could be written by us, and it's determined by the actions we take, not just for ourselves, but for others. And at that point in my career, and I can still say the same today, is I gave more than I took. And I think that's the legacy I want going before me as a human, but also as a businesswoman.
A lot of people right now, and I love to hear the fact that, you know, how you so much into giving. A lot of people right now are trying to find different ways to communicate and define themselves, because right now they're at home, or they have been at home, and they're finding that, you know, your online presence is very, very important. So definitely photography, but your existence online is important, because people could take advantage of something right now. The fact that if they're trying to go out and raise capital or get jobs or something like that, you don't have to fly all around the world. You can catch everybody on Zoom now, when before it would take you forever to get a hold of people. How do people, you know, what are the keys you think it is to building an online presence that works in your best interest?
I think regardless of where we are in human history, there's never been a better time to build a business. We have never had accessibility. Do you know that 5 years ago, Daymond, 10 years ago, you and I could never have this conversation? But the fact that I could slide into your DMs and ask a question, the fact that we can create a podcast, the fact that we can create content, there's never been a better time. So how then do you create a personal brand? How do you stick out in a sea of entrepreneurs, photographers, graphic designers, or dog walkers? What you do is you create helpful content, not for a million people, for one person. Is that when you put yourself in the shoes of your dream customer and you think, what is he struggling with? What does she want? What problems can I solve? What can I give them that they didn't know they wanted? Lo and behold, that one person turns into two, and the two turns into 20, and the 20 turns into 20,000. There's no magic code. There's no red pill. It's doing the work and serving people before they even know they needed the thing you were selling.
I don't think I've heard that in various ways, but never hit home just like that, you know, because people are so busy. People are so busy trying to serve everybody, and they go, well, if I only go to this person, then I'm excluding other people. But you're not saying you're excluding other people. You're saying this is who you resonate with. This is who you feel that you can really help. And in doing that, you'll find there's way more people. Because I keep saying we have more in common than we have, apart. So, yeah, I like that. I like that. So do you look at that person as you saying, I wish somebody would have helped me. This is me and this is what I love. Or do you look at that person as somebody who is a customer that you can serve, that you didn't understand their needs necessarily, and once you opened up and understood their needs, you said, wait a minute, this is the most valuable thing I can give that person?
You know, it's not a right or wrong. Some entrepreneurs are serving a version or an iteration of themselves, and some entrepreneurs are serving an entirely different demographic. I know the person I'm serving, she and I wouldn't be friends. We would be friendly. And I know her so well that even though she's white and she lives in Manhattan Beach and she drives a Range Rover and she has 2 sons, 3 and 5 years old, and her husband is a lawyer, her daddy is a goat farmer in Ojai, California. And that's where she learned the craft of making her own artisan goods so that she could sell them in farmers markets in Southern California until the day that she gets contacted by an anthropology buyer. And this person says, you know what? I think that your stuff belongs in our stores. And it's then at that point in time that she realizes, I don't have a hobby anymore. I have a business. Now I need the tools and resources. And that is how our paths intersect. I now know that I have black, white, purple, Asian, Haitian, Croatian followers and members of what it is that I do. But I create content for that person because if it resonates with her and I serve her well and I help her out of her struggle, it's going to resonate with other people. I think of one and serve many.
That's very powerful stuff. I like that. We wouldn't necessarily be friends, but we're definitely going to be friendly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like that.
To be honest, Daymond, like, I'm a girl from the hood. I'm a daughter of an immigrant. I don't have very much in common with the people I serve. That's just facts. For so long, I wanted to transcend the socioeconomic barriers, and I didn't know what it was like on the other side of the white picket fence. I didn't know what it was like in the country clubs. I didn't know what it was like in the warehouse or the White House. And then the 21st century handed me the internet on a golden platter. So now when you make references to Maserati and Christian Louboutin, and you're out there with your Louis Vuitton, and I didn't know what any of those stuff meant, I Google it, I find out, where are you shopping? What do you do? What do you need? I'm going to position my business to serve you well. So even though I, at a long time, was never in the luxury market, I could serve the luxury market. There then became a big shift in my business and who I serve.
So as businesses right now dealing with a crazy climate, how do they improve their public communication, to answer exactly what you're saying? They may say, because I've gotten I must have had over 50 CEOs and or people of that level call me and say, I just didn't know. And I thought I was doing what I could, and we gave in this area, and we did this and this and that. But I got to improve the communication, but I don't want to be fake. You know what I mean? I want to serve more because this is ridiculous. And if I serve more, I'll help create change. But how do people do what you're saying now? The business, you may not. I mean, listen, if we all had this thing all figured out, we wouldn't all be here, right? How do you think they can improve their public communication? People, whether it's small businesses or big businesses, what are some tips if they're not already doing so?
So first and foremost, I will say that I am first a student. I do not have the answers, nor do I pretend that I have the next clear path. What I can say is that I have listened so intently. And in the past week and in the past month, the thing that I have discovered is that even though I love diversity with my members, I love diversity on my team, I love diversity in my friends, by me celebrating diversity, I'm happy with that. But what I wasn't doing was acknowledging the disparity. There's a difference between diversity and disparity. And if I don't have the chutzpah, if I don't have the ability to come out and say, I know it is harder for some people to build business, for some people to get a loan, for some people to rent a space on Main Street, USA. If I don't acknowledge that, then anything I say after that is going to be null and void. How do you start having conversations? You first admit that you don't know what you don't know. And then you make yourself open and say, whatever you want to tell me, I'm going to be a humble student. I want to hear from you. And then what I want to do is I want to hold up a mirror and say, this business is for everybody's color and I want to serve you well. But if you don't see seen in my business, how can I see you in a different way? First ask, then respond, because it's going to look different for every business.
And, almost kind of like you said, listen, they handed you the internet on a golden platter. And prior to that, you didn't know what a Maserati or various other things are. So you looked them up just like we all look up everything. Do business owners, people in general who really care. Listen, if you happen to be a racist, you couldn't care less. That's up to you. And I don't think it's right, but it is what it is. But the people wanting to make change right now who don't want to just, gloss over it, do they look it up? Look at why? Because a lot of times I think, people have this assumption the way that other people act and do things like that. And in my company, I had the conversation, and I suggest all CEOs do this because I've been doing this with a lot of CEOs in their companies. First of all, go into your company and say, let's put it on the table. Let's ask all the uncomfortable questions. And sometimes the uncomfortable questions are people who are not of one color saying, Well, we always thought that you guys like to have baggy pants and rap and act crazy, and we just thought that's you. And they may have another person of color right next to them who's a very close friend, and when they see other people on TV getting arrested and everybody else, they go, "Oh, but that's those people. You're really cool," not realizing their closest friend right here has, when they're at work, they don't know if their 16-year-old son is coming home, when they're in the streets, because they're just kids doing what they normally do, and that they're both one and the same. You're trying to separate people when you don't realize that there's people that are having stereotypes. When no, holy crap, the person sitting right next to me that I love to death, that is one of the smartest people that I've ever met, I'm thinking that all the other people that get arrested and do this and that are just ignorant. Well, no, it's not. It was just a kid driving in a car. Her good son was driving in a car. There's a lot of problems and questions that people don't have. And how do you look that up? Or not, how do you, what's the first step for people to look that up and say, before I engage in these conversations, let me look up and find out that a young African-American male with $600 worth of marijuana could potentially go to jail for 10 years when somebody who's not necessarily that color may get a slap on the wrist. There's more drugs being sold and pushed in these better colleges, but the cops don't go to those better colleges and lock people up, but yet they go to these other schools here and lock people up for a little bag of this, a little bag of that. So when do people start to educate themselves on those things to then be able to have these conversations?
I feel like there are big steps and there are micro steps. A big step that you could take right now, go to Amazon. The book is called White Fragility. All it does is teach people who are not Black how to talk about racism without it making a thing. How then can I approach? Secondly, if you have 5 minutes, you can go to any social platform, any single one, and if you were to write, I'm looking for great resources or support on how I can learn more about how to navigate race in America, you will get more than an abundance. Thirdly, it's to acknowledge that these conversations should never be segmented in time. Right now, we're highlighting it. It's on the forefront of our minds. 2 months from now, I want us to be talking about it the same way. At lunch last week with my nephew, who's Black, we had to teach him painstakingly what it meant for him to raise his hand. He's 12 years old. And we had to walk him through, baby, what do you say? If you're pulled over riding your bike, what do you say? And we had to say it again and again and again, because he's not looked at the same way as his cousin who's brown. I don't want to have that conversation with him, but we will continue to have that conversation. And until the day that my nephew and your daughter and my daughter can all get home with equal proportions and equal safety, I'm going to use my mouth until somebody says I have to stop. And when they tell me to stop, I'm still going to raise my voice until we get the equality that every American and business owner deserves.
Yeah, and I you know what, and I want to give people, and I want to be very honest about stuff. Like, think about it like this: the women's movement started, the women's lib started in 1960s, right? It took us to wait all the way till a Harvey Weinstein 60 years later to finally get women to have their day in court and legislation be changed and this be at the forefront. Now, everybody in their life, everybody here and everybody in the world has a woman in their life, because they probably wouldn't be on this planet if there wasn't a woman in their life who gave birth to her, birth to them. But they most likely have a wife, a daughter, whatever the case is. And so nobody can say, well, I don't have a woman in my life. And think about how long it took for us, and it's not done, but how long it took for us to finally get to the point where, women can actually maybe have their day in court, or people are up to speed and say, this is a problem. Now, not everybody has a person of color in their life, right? Not every person can relate to that. And I do, and there's a bigger challenger. So that's why I'm saying that people need to have, more of a step up in that. So I think I love touching on the point with, what's the name of the book? White
Fragility.
White Fragility?
Mm-hmm.
Fragility. Fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I got another question for you. Biggest mistake with online strategies?
Oh, people use their accounts to talk about them and their business instead of using their accounts to ask how their business can serve others. If you're wondering, why am I not getting engagement? Daymond has all these people commenting and leaving comments. How is he getting that? What is he doing? Well, Daymond has found a way to create content that serves his audience really well. If all you're using is your Instagram account is to say, buy my thing, my thing is on sale, my thing comes in green, everybody's going to tune you out because you're like QVC on Instagram. What you have to do is create conversations so you could talk about your business without having to sell your business. And when you talk about your business and you serve people, guess what? The sales then come to you.
So are you saying that I can't, that social media is just another form of communication, and that if I kept going to work with you or going to dinner with you and kept talking about myself the whole time, are you telling me that you would tune me out and maybe go to dinner or talk to somebody else who may say, how are you doing today? How can I help you? You know what? You look beautiful. You know what? Why don't we go do this because I think you're great? Is that what you're trying to tell everybody? Because a lot of people overthink this shit.
No, it is 100%. If you're not treating social media as something social, if you're looking at social media for sales, I'm going to encourage you to think of social media for branding. Your brand is what people say about you when you walk out of the room. That's what Instagram should be doing. It should be creating relationships, so much so that I find it irresistible to bring out my credit card and give it to you because I'm like, I like you. I believe you are the person to get me to where I want to go or give me the results that I'm going to be investing with you. If I don't show you who I am, I don't deserve your credit card. And the reason why people don't have sales right now is because they're more concerned to talk about themselves and instead talking about what they should be doing for their customers.
All right, I love that point. All right, I got one last point because you are so skilled with photography and images, and we are in, of course, a world of images. What are some tips? Because I've heard that, listen, don't do overproduced stuff because then people think it's like, you put too much work into it. Then I hear, well, that looks crappy, your photography on it, or like, so I get it. It got to be to your brand, I'm sure, but give us some simple tips that my, our family right now watching can use themselves.
Well, Daymond, you hit it right. It's every business is going to run its own gamut. However, quickest photo tips that you can change your photos exactly right after this live. Number one, use natural light. Make sure that when you take a selfie or when you take a photo, you're facing a door or a window. That light is going to be the most complimentary. Secondly, it's called the rule of thirds. Make sure when you take a photo, avoid things being right in the center. Have it up top or have it down below because visually it makes it interesting to the eye. And lastly, don't be afraid to crop. Cropping a photo is like you taking just 1 second to make the photo a tiny bit smaller to make it more visually appealing. So light, rule of thirds, and give it a good crop.
All right, so light. So I went to film school for a little while just so I could direct videos, and at my best, I'm a level F, maybe G guy. But I remember, our director. But I remember them teaching you have your key light, your filter, and there's always motivation for the light because you have to think, why is the light coming? What is the motivation for this light? And so you're saying if you're doing something, natural light is great. But what if you want to have the motivation of light be moody and you want to just have on your face? Is that good as well? I mean, do you think there's motivation for light?
100%. And here's the thing, Daymond, it doesn't matter what you say and it doesn't matter what I say. If you're creating a product where your customer appreciates moody and evocative lighting, you do you. If it gets just one like, but that one like results in a customer, clap yourself up, boo, you did it. You converted to a sale. What is the point of having the most beautiful photography if you're not actually moving the needle in your business? What you need to do is serve who will buy from you and do it extraordinarily well.
All right. The thirds. I didn't understand. So you're saying that in this square right here we're at, it should be here or here?
Yes. So right now, as you're
like
watching
this?
Yes, Daymond, you're in the upper third. Exactly that. Right
but
now,
who wants to look at this?
Well, maybe not that close. Maybe not that close. Your eye is cute, but maybe not that close. So listen, Daymond, you're outside. I think your baby girl's swimming.
Hey, keep that baby quiet.
No, you keep her yelling. She's watching her daddy do what he does. You say, yell, baby. Your daddy's living his best life.
Baby on a swing.
So then later, after you get off live, go see baby girl in the pool. When she's floating in the pool, what I want you to do is hold your camera above her. And I want you to put baby girl in the upper third or in the lower third. And then you're going to take a second picture and you're going to put her in the middle. Then I want Daymond to look at picture number 1 and picture number 2. I'm going to tell you, Daymond, my photo is going to be better than baby girl in the center. That's called the rule of thirds. You're welcome.
All right. I like that. Listen, I think we've learned a lot. I've certainly learned a lot. I got a couple of books to go to.
Thank you.
I got to Google a couple of things on Amazon. I got to tell the baby, be quiet next time I'm recording. I got to go to the third. I want to make sure that, because I want to blast it out instead of you blasting out. So the Jasmine Star Show is your podcast, right? And you got a monthly subscription that provides photos and caption templates.
Yeah. We teach people how to talk on social. Okay.
And action plans and a path to profitability and is a business boot camp you have, right?
Yes. Yes, so we do.
All right. And I really do appreciate this time. I mean, you know, Maury told me that you were a firecracker, and I'm really excited right now. You got me amped. Okay. So I appreciate you spending time with me and my family.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Stay healthy. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Now I'm really excited, and I know I'm butchering the name. I know I'm butchering the name, and I do not want. So Kyron, but his son's name, I keep messing up his son's name, Kaying or Kayan. But anyway, I'm going to bring him in here. You listen. So, let me just give you a little background. You saw him on. I highlighted one of his videos. I think I highlighted two of his videos. But he was talking about his son. He's talking to his son, and his son has probably better financial intelligence than all the other sharks, except for me. I don't know how he educated his son in that way, but I do think that financial intelligence is one thing that every single one of us needs. But let me tell you a story. He was raised by his father, who taught him the importance of structure. He earned a football scholarship at Mars Hill College, but decided to leave only after a year and sent to live with his aunt and uncle in Atlanta. They owned a cleaning business, and it prompted Kyron's interest in entrepreneurship. Was working on side hustles as he raised his son, but he decided he wanted to work to create generational wealth and stop hustling. So Kyron's primary focus and motivation is nurturing his son and teaching him the success in life, that he needs to succeed in life, and he needs a strong work ethic and desire to keep learning. Also, the video that I highlighted was also highlighted by Mark Cuban, The Share Room, CNN, Good Morning America, and others. And he has an Instagram account with about 282,000. Listen, I'm on a national television show, and we're damn near on CNBC like the Kardashians of CNBC, and I only got 1.2 million, 1.5 million. However, I'm not going to say only 1.2 million, 1.5 million, because the people that support me and look at me are quality over quantity. But this man has almost the same, and he talks the same language as I do, so he's really putting out a powerful message that people can learn from. So he created as Kyron with his son, which is an educational tool and a motivational speaking company with the goal of empowering their community through wealth and knowledge. And this is the thing that I really love, and I got to order myself after I read about it. Creates and sells financial literacy coloring books, flashcards, and webinars. So I'm gonna get into that first, the coloring book, flashcards, and webinars. I just want to get that first, and then we're gonna talk about all that other good stuff. Let me see if I can get him in here. Boom. I'm looking for him now. I see. What's up, Charlinda? Charlinda's in the Power of Broke. She's on here. I mean, not the Power of Broke, Power Shift. Amazing woman here on there. I don't see him yet. I'm going to try to hit the name there in my pin. I'm hitting the name of my pin, but that's not happening. If you see him, do you guys see him in there? Let me know if you see Kyron in here. All right, let's see these again. There you go, got him. All right. Shot, lost him, hold on. You guys didn't think I had hair, did you? What's up, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
All right, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing excellent.
All right. I don't want to keep butchering your son's name.
It's okay. My name is Kyron. My son's name is King. So King.
King?
Yeah,
King Karen. Okay. All right. Cause it's spelled Kyng, and with me being dyslexic, that all messes everything up. So thank you for being here, man. Thank you for being with me. You're all about education. Good.
Yes,
You
sir.
good? Yeah. So you're all about
Yep.
education. And you obviously see that reflected in your son. And I'm going to try to get into a little bit of how you've gotten your son to be that brilliant. But you only went to school for college for 1 year. And me,
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't even go to college, right? So both of us are constantly trying to learn. I'm trying to learn right now with you. Why do you believe so much in education if you gave up the opportunity to pursue college, and maybe you gave it up for different reasons?
Well, honestly, I didn't give it up. I lost my scholarship. I got kicked out.
Got it.
The woman that helped raise me, also my great grandmother, she had passed away, and one of my family members in Tennessee got killed in a drive-by. So my mind wasn't clear. I asked my coaches to look over me. I had the highest SAT on the team at the time, 1760. So my coaches, they're like, "You all right? You smart?" But my mind wasn't there, and I became, as a broke college student, I became hustling. I was hustling in school and dorm, not going to class. I was already on academic probation. Somebody, broke into my dorm room and reacted ignorant, tried to react to do some things I shouldn't have done with a firearm, and I got kicked out of school. So my family was disappointed in me, so they sent me to live with my aunt and uncle in Atlanta. And seeing how everything is Atlanta, Black Hollywood, that inspired me. So, and I just, it's not so much education, it's just knowledge. Because, so many people are graduating and they get these masters and everything, and still don't even do the career they went to school for. And, still struggling, not, knowing how to produce. So I'm all about knowledge with my son, the things that I messed up at, my weaknesses, my chinks in my armor, which was knowledge. I was that guy that played sports, and all I cared was about dribbling, playing basketball and rapping. So I'm trying to open his mind to look at things differently. So that's what I'm all about with these kids.
But when you got kicked out or you lost the opportunity, you could have easily said, because it sounded like your mind was in a different place. And a lot, thank God I didn't have a camera on me when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. When we easily judge people and say, how dare you be that person, when all of us, I don't care who you are, you broke the law at some time in your life. I don't care if it was going 10 miles over the speed limit or you had a cracked tail light and driving down a block. But, obviously you went further than that. Why didn't you say, especially in the environment that we're in, of course, even now being highlighted a little bit more, you said a family member got shot in a drive-by, right?
Yep.
So you also in school, you reacted different ways. You got kicked out. So, a lot of times in our lives when we're growing up, we felt that the scholarship was the way out of the situation we were in. And now it's gone. I should believe everybody that I should be dead or in jail by 21 or there's nothing out there for me. So why did you keep trying to gain knowledge and change yourself, after those times when you hit a really rough patch?
You giving me the opportunity, thank you for putting me on here. You're a legend. So I'm gonna keep it 100 with you and the followers.
Yeah.
I don't sugarcoat. I don't care who judges. We all gonna be judged one day.
Please do.
So,
keep it 100.
Really, in my eyes, when we look at these great figures, especially in the Black community, we love Tupac, we love Nipsey Hussle, we love Malcolm X, we love Martin Luther King. When we look at these figures, it's what kills me about myself, and I'm not judging nobody else, is that we look at these figures and we wear these shirts, we quote them, good or bad, we love them to death. They're legends, Black revolutionaries. But how can you love them and you're not living the life of what they did to inspire you? I cannot sit here and scream, I love Martin Luther King, I love Malcolm X, and I'm not preaching or living, or at least trying to better myself in that aspect of teaching and inspiring others. So I love these people. I can rap in every Tupac lyric, but the positive side of Tupac, the Black Panther side, I can rap every lyric. I can tell you every quote about Malcolm X and Martin. But if I'm not living that on a daily basis or trying to better myself on a daily basis, what's the point of it? I'm a hypocrite. So that's my whole thing with my son. I knew I had this side of me, but I was so worried about, people going to laugh at you or, bro, you know how we do. We see one person smart, wow, look at him. He want to be smart. You ain't doing nothing. So I cared about other people's mindsets about me. So that's not who I am. So I don't care what you say about me, what you think about me. So my whole thing is inspiring everybody around me. I can't be up here and everybody around me is down here. That's just not me. So, that's my whole thing, trying to live that life of what I really look up to. So
no, I mean, I wish more people understood that, especially with the day of social media, when you're trying to live a false facade and you're not being honest with yourself, or listen, it happened to me, the same thing. Listen, when I said this on one of my Instagrams, but honestly, listen, in 1989, it wasn't fly to make clothes, to be a straight male, making clothes. You just thought that everybody who made clothes were flamboyant and Italian and French and obviously, probably gay, right? And coming up in the era of rap music is very homophobic. You know what I mean? I don't, besides one or two rappers now, I think there's still probably many that happen to, be homosexual, but nobody wants to talk about it. It actually is shunned away. So when I was out there and, my boys who, they made the movie Belly about, I would hang out with them, but I was never somebody who's going into that world. Yeah. When they would be like, yo, we're going into the city, we're going this and that. And they, and I'd be like, I knew they were going to get into trouble, or they may be riding dirty. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home because I just got a really great, pattern of strawberries. And I'm going to make some really cool looking strawberry hats, with strawberry prints on them. And they were like, we'll make some strawberries. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then honestly, a lot of them stopped talking to me, but I didn't care. I didn't care about what they thought, because first of all, I had no issue with anybody's sexual preference. And second of all, I was doing what I love to do, and by the way, those little strawberry pattern hats got me onto the video set. So I got to holler at the video girls while I was on the video set, because I went on there to go to dress the artist, and then I'd be sitting there, in the back in the back for about 4 hours or 6 hours during the video, and there'd be a cute girl there, and I'm hollering at her, and then I tell her I'm into fashion, and then game on, right? But so many people judge me, and I think I reflected on that as being an only child. Listen, I grew up with nobody else around me, so I couldn't care less if you left me, but you also were judging me. So when would you ever be there for me? Because even though I'm just talking about that, what if I really got into trouble and you weren't there for me just because you had this perception of me this way? You really wouldn't be there for me, when it got bad. I mean, there's an old saying in the hood, when it gets dark enough, even your shadow leads you, right? So you always need to know to have people that are close to you, and make sure that if other people got bad perception of you, a different perception of you, that's their problem.
Facts. And that's the problem with everybody. We so worried, like, I'll never bash my people. I love my people. I'm gonna stand up for my people. I don't care what nobody gotta say. It might rub somebody the wrong way, like me, like in the streets. If you got a problem, you come talk to me. Don't tell everybody else that you see me, you dap me up. Don't talk to everybody else about me. Come to me like a man, just like they did back in the day. You know how they did in a mafia. We sat down at that table, even though we hate each other. So come talk to me. And my problem was, with everybody, period. And this was my mindset too. So when I talk to all the followers, when I talk junk, I talk about myself, so I can make myself raise up my standards. So we sit here and we buy Jordans, we buy shoes. That's no knocking Michael. We buy all this Gucci, all this stuff, but we not owning nothing. We not paying no mortgages. When everybody know when you pay a mortgage, you paying somebody else's rent. So you're helping. If you live in an apartment complex, when you paying that $1,200 a month, $1,600 a month, you're helping pay somebody else's mortgage. So me, this ignorance is saying, show you off these shoes and then don't have no money left for what? Just to put everybody in the club with the same shoes on for what? And I used to be that same dude. So what do I have left? I've had $30,000 in my pocket, and I have nothing right now to show y'all. Nothing from it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I wasn't living right, man. And my soul wasn't liking it. I was sitting here too worried about what the girls like. What they gonna like this, or my homeboys, and a lot of dudes, especially in the streets, we sitting here so worried about what somebody else is wearing and looking like and doing and what they, what I'm saying. Really, you're not even pressing no female, because if you really a deep and pure person, ain't nobody, who cares if that girl don't like you because of what you have material wise. So that's the problem with us. We so worried about pressing people. And I'm gonna tell a quick story. And I went to school, when I was in high school, we had a friend, and white dude, I love him to death. He would always wear the oldest Sperry's, like Sperry's would be talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Shoes messed up, talking to you, same polo shirts. He had the same 4 outfits. We went to his house, before a football game. And we go to his house, and he living in damn near a mansion. And we like, we never thought he like, what I'm saying? So we go inside the house, and we eat snacks before we go to the game. And everything they have in the house, Daymond, is not name brand, it's off brand. So it's not Frosted Flakes, it's snowflakes and stuff like that. So we talking junk, all of us laughing like, like, man, we don't want this. Then his dad sat down and talked to us like, I hear y'all laughing, but that's how we keep money generating, saving money instead of spending and buying all this new stuff. And he woke me up at an early age of 17 years old. And, we don't think about it like that. Like with the videos like that I posted of me teaching King, I've had a lot of non-Black followers say this is cool, but I was taught this when I was growing up. I don't, what I'm saying, like it's not special. That's the problem. We're not taught this. We're not taught this. We you can't. We can sit here. They're gonna keep killing us. Police brutality is gonna keep happening when you don't have no word. And economically, we don't have no word. We don't have no voice economically. You know what I'm saying? Like if they kill us, all we're gonna do is march and riot. So they don't care what we're saying. Jews and stuff, they have word, they have power, economics. But we don't have no economic power. We don't, produce. And that's what we have to work on. It's about knowledge. We got to teach these kids early. You can't wait till a kid is 12 years old, not wanting to listen and ready to rebel with puberty. You got to teach them from knee high.
Yeah, and when we talk about this, I want to make sure that everybody knows that we believe we know that we all should be learning. I think financial intelligence is the biggest challenge in this country, period, right? Because just like you with the scholarship, right? And in our situation, as people of color, we never came from generational wealth. So we never had grandpa and great-grandpa and great-grandpa to pass down knowledge through the family on how we live and how we work, right? And that's one of the challenges. But generally, all Americans, we also live in this age of you have to have nice things and this and that, and they don't have financial intelligence. And I tell people often, the school system's broken, because if you didn't teach King this information, how do you go through a school system that doesn't teach you any financial intelligence? But why should they teach you financial intelligence? Because they want you to take out $300,000 worth of loans at 16 or 18 years old for a career that you don't necessarily know you want to have, right? So if you don't have financial intelligence then it's going to hurt you as an adult. I don't care what color you are, right? Listen, I see it also happen in the other world. Listen, you see me on the show. I always have, I always try to turn it on with the suit and everything because I'm respecting the money in the room. I'm respecting the show. But all the people that follow me now, they know this is how I dress normally, right? Jeans and whatever the case is. But I remember this cat, he was telling me, and he happened to be Italian. I remember, and he used to always come in with these $10,000 suits all the time, and he used to just talk about his suits. And I remember one person in the room said to him, that's great, man. You dress so much better than Mark Zuckerberg. You are really impressing me right now. And I remember after that, the dude started wearing jeans and a regular button down after that. From that point on, because the dude who was talking to him had more paper than him. And it happened another time too. I was in a house, the same way you're talking about, but the house was beautiful. I mean, big. And, this woman was talking about how much this costs and how much that costs. And it was a big, like a banquet or a party. And somebody else said something very similar. This house is great. This house puts Warren Buffett's house to shame. And you know what? Everybody in the room got it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a problem. But the reason why I'm bringing this all back is that people right now have lost jobs. They have their economic status has changed. Their communities are looking at them a little different, even though everybody may be in the same situation, or they were on top for a while, or they were doing better for a while, and now, they may have to take a couple of steps back and people are going to look at them a certain way. You know, what do people do now when they, you know, even listen, if your husband or your wife, one of your significant others is very much, you know, the socialite and the flashy person and that type of, and that stuff, whether you're in the hood or whether you're, you know, up here, and now you're busting your butt, the significant other busting your butt, so you don't make them look bad because you never really cared about that stuff. What do you do now?
That's you know, that's the point. That's honestly the point where I'm lost at when it comes to that situation. I don't. It's what's so hard to me is how we can get on the same path and pattern of thinking together. That's the problem. We're so separated as a society. Like everybody has their own ideas, and that's the problem where it's so hard to try to get everybody right here. Then once we get everybody right here, then everybody going. You know what I'm saying? That's what intrigues me and discombobulates me at the same time of how we can get everybody on the same page, or at least looking at stuff in the same manner, so we can progress. And that's what happens every time we get up here. Then something happens when we take 10 steps back. Then we get 20 steps up. Then we take 5 steps back.
Yeah, and it's odd. You know why? Because I always say we have more in common than we have apart, right? None of us want to be judged unfairly. All of us want to work. I don't know anybody who doesn't want to work a honest day's work to then provide for their family. We all want to be able to be loved unconditionally, you know? So I think we have so many things that we have like 95% of, we all want to have an education. We have 95% of the things that is just in common. We want to be healthy. Nobody wants to lose their parents, or no mother should bury their child. But how do we find this stuff to separate us? But one thing that you've done, I think, that why you're getting a lot of the attention and that how you even get on my radar is one thing we all have in common. We want to all educate our kids and make our kids brilliant people, because honestly, you know, let me be selfish about it. I learned this while working with ARP. You know, you're going to take care of your parents 2 times to maybe 3 times longer than they took care of you. Right? Yeah. Think about it, right? You're going to raise your child to be 15, 18, maybe 20, 21. But, you know, once your parents are, 60, you may be taking care of them for 40 years, right? So we want to give our kids the best opportunity of life. And also, let's be greedy. We want to also have our kids be smart enough so they can take care of us as well. You are taking care of King. You are making sure that he is brilliant, a brilliant young man. How did that start? When did you start this? And give us a couple of tips, and then I definitely want you to tag your books and all the things, because you have some financial literacy coloring books and various other things. So just walk me through it.
The reason, well, how I look at it with King is, like I said earlier, I looked at my situation. Like, I made it to college, and then I got kicked out. You know, trying to be in the streets, seeing what my homeboys doing. You know what I'm saying? Quick money. You know, just like with this pandemic. Everybody understands, like the situation with the rats up in New York. They were saying the rats were getting aggressive, right? They're getting way aggressive. And now, since there's not enough food because businesses were closed, they have no dumpsters and nothing to really eat out of. So what do? They started getting aggressive, eating each other. That's just how it is in the hood. That's just how it is in the Black community. We have, from systematic oppression, we have became to hate each other, eat each other. When I walk out that door, I'm not having to worry about just non-Blacks looking at me and judging me. I got to worry about my own people killing me. So with my son, I didn't want no chink in his armor. I want him to understand how to carry himself like as a man, because intelligence has no nationality. Intelligence has no color. So when I say man, it's not to impress this white man, this Black man as a man. I want him to walk out the door and know how to carry himself as a man. I want him to learn how to handle business, how to negotiate, how to open his mind. When he's driving down the street and he sees a billboard or he sees a commercial, he knows that somebody had to pay for that to be there. It's not just there. I want to open his mind, make him expand his mind. I learned this later on in life. So now I'm looking at, well, hell, Kyra, you opening your mind later on in life. I mean, I'm only 28 years old, but I'm opening my mind from the mistakes I made, knowing I don't want my son to go through what I went through. So what would happen if I learned this after getting kicked out of college and going to live with my family and going through the stress and the working and not wanting to work this job, and I just, I'm gonna go back and go sell this. Hey, King, economics, without power, you have no power, you don't have no money. You can't even start a war. You can't even have a war with somebody, you don't have no money. So teach King everything. I don't want no chicken in his arm. I want him to know how to protect himself. Want to know how somebody bothers his family. He knows how to protect his home, how to protect himself. Somebody puts their hands on him, how to mentally be just great. And some people might look at it selfish, but that's how you gotta look at it. Like some people talk junk about Terrell Owens. Some people talk about Chad Ochocinco, Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, and Kobe, how their mentality is. But that's how you have to be with your kids. You got to be competitive with your kids. You can't. It's not just go in the room and play video games all day. That makes your kid lazy. They have no work ethic. And just because the kid's not getting in trouble, you're still dumbing him down. Some kids can play games all day and stay at straight A's, but most kids cannot do that. So with my son, I just want to intrigue his mind. So I'm going to build him up. I'm going to teach him everything. Business, he can learn how to do business if you want to do business, King. If you want to do health, this is what you do, King. This is how you get a scholarship. If you want to play sports, you got to work hard. You got to bust your ass. And that's what I'm about with him and anybody around me. You guys my friends. I'm selfish with my friends. I be damn, I'm going to be positive. You sitting here bullshit. Excuse my language. Sorry. But I can't let nobody around me be like that. Everybody around me has to be on go. My family, my friends. I can't love you if I'm not loving you 100% and telling you what's wrong with you. The same thing with me. So that's what I'm about with these kids and my son, and teaching them business early. Because you can be busy. You could, like the little girl that started her lemonade business, and now she's making millions early. Yeah. So
what year? What age did you start this the programming with him? Dropping these seeds of knowledges and stuff like that. Because he's 8. He's 8 years old now, right?
Yeah, I started when he was 6.
You started when he was 6. And what was the steps? Did you do it? Did you spend a half an hour a week with him? Did you what were your techniques of teaching?
I went to school for business management. My grandfather owned a funeral home. My uncle had a restaurant and club. My aunt and uncle Atlanta have a business, cleaning business. So I started. I wanted to teach King once he turned 6. My memory when I was a kid, I remember everything when I was 6. So with kids, they remember better. You can't. I mean, let's not be crazy. You can't teach no kid that. Most kids that ain't damn 3. So I waited till he was 6, and I taught him. And I just went with the simple stuff of how it was in college. Break it down to him. I started with he liked Toys R Us at the time before they shut down. So I said, King, you want to own Toys R Us and have all the toys you want? He's like, yeah. Well, this is what you do to own Toys R Us. Franchise, break it down, this and that and third. You know what I'm saying? Make it fun for kids. GameStop, break it down to them about GameStop. Break it down to them going to Chuck E. Cheese, the tokens. You can break it down with credit, like credit reward points, things like that. So I built.
Then you sort of go into what an asset is and a liability is, and what a depreciating asset is, depreciating liability. Let me before, because I know we're going to cut off in a little bit due to the I think the limits of this. Where do people find your financial literacy coloring books, your flashcards, and your webinars?
We sold out of the coloring books and workbooks locally, but you go on my website at King Kyren, KYNG, like my Instagram name.com. We have merchandise right now, and that's supporting making them more books and everything, and workbooks and all the cards. We got financial cards, literacy cards for the kids, and also we have it in kid form and adult form, because I have so many adults inboxing me not knowing where to start. So you can do this with your kids, you can do this with yourself. People love the color, people like crossword puzzles. We do the whole 9. So you go on my site and you'll find it.
And do you know any other, because when you were doing it, you're a brilliant man with common sense, which is more important than most things. Are there any other tools that you would suggest or recommend to parents right now to go and find for their kids?
Honestly, with all of this, it's honestly being real with yourself, with your kids. You gotta be real with your kids. No sugarcoating. It's just forms.
No, but what sources, like books or something like that you may be able to recommend, or websites other than yours, obviously, because people, that you could think about, if any.
I really don't. Honestly, I just, what I'm saying, like I just like to read books. I don't really know about anybody else doing it, but I know that Dr. George C. Fraser, I read a lot of his books, and that actually helped me out with this, honestly. So
George Fraser.
Yeah. He helped me out, open my mind with this. So you guys,
I'm gonna tell you a funny story before we go about George Fraser, who's an absolute legend in our community. I went to speak for him one day, and my mother said, "Hey, tell George that I said hello," and I found out that they went on a date. 60 years ago, they went on a date in Brooklyn.
That's crazy.
That's funny stuff, man. So listen, man. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate how you have inspired the world, you know, and was showing your beautiful son, and you know how articulate he was, and how brilliant he is, and that I think anybody, all shades, can learn from him, especially though those in the African American community. So we can look at positive images like you, like a father with his son, you know, doing this. But you know, it's absolutely amazing, man. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you. Appreciate you and your honor, and like the honor of you reaching out to me and just, you know, supporting us. So I appreciate you and everybody's tuning in.
Absolutely. And when you get those books, man, send me some. I will pay for them. I want to pay for them. You can send me as many as you can, because I'll pay for them and give them to some other people that I know need that information just as well.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm definitely going to inbox you. So I'll keep in contact with you outside of this. So.
All right. God bless you, brother.
Yeah, you too. Appreciate you.
All right. All right, I may cut off right now, but you know, listen. Remember, all my cut off only due to the Instagram thing. Remember, every Monday at 1 o'clock, Power Shift Your Week, presented by T-Mobile for Business, and every Tuesday 2 o'clock, I'm going to bring on interesting people like that who will learn from both people in various different ways. So, thank you all. Be careful out there. You know. This COVID stuff is still around. I know it's taking a nap for a second, but you know, don't get too comfortable, you know. And remember, you can email me at Daymond@daymondjohn.com. Any questions, concerns, and or suggestions. Any people that you want me to interview that we can all learn from. But man, I had a good time. Listen, I had a good time talking to both of the subjects today, Jasmine Star and Kyron, and I wish you all the best. Peace.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.